Got a big exam on Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing coming up? Feeling that pressure? Well, you are in exactly the right place. Because in the next few minutes, we're going to put together a super clear, simple game plan to help you absolutely smash it and get the best grade possible.
So, let me ask you this. What if your exam wasn't some terrifying test of everything you've ever memorized? What if it was more like a puzzle? A puzzle that has a secret code. And once you know that code, you have the exact strategy to solve it. Today, we're finding that code.
Look, I get it. An exam on a play like Much Ado About Nothing can feel pretty intimidating. But here's the thing. Success isn't just about remembering the plot. It's about figuring out what the examiners are actually looking for.
Because, really, the key isn't just knowing who Don John is or what happens to Hero. The real marks, the top grades, they're earned by showing off specific analytical skills, by showing the examiner how you think about the play.
So, how do we find out what they want? Simple. We look at the official rulebook, the assessment objectives. You can just call them AOs. Think of these as the secret code we've been talking about. They tell us exactly where every single mark in your exam comes from.
And here it is. This is the most important part of that code. Just look at this. AO1 and AO2. That's your ideas and your analysis of Shakespeare's craft. They make up a massive 80% of your total grade. 80%. This right here tells you exactly where you need to focus all your energy.
Okay, let's break that down. First up, AO1. This is all about your ideas. It's about having your own informed take on the play and, this is crucial, being able to prove it. You have to back up every single point with evidence straight from the text, and that means good, relevant quotes.
And then you've got AO2, which is the single biggest slice of the pie. This is where you analyze how Shakespeare actually does what he does. Why did he pick a specific word? How does dramatic irony build up all that tension? It's all about deconstructing the writer's techniques. Then we have AO3. This one's all about context, understanding the world Shakespeare was living in, the Elizabethan ideas about honor, reputation, and gender roles, and then connecting those big ideas to what's actually happening on stage in the play.
And finally, there's AO4. This is your technical skill. Basically, how clearly can you communicate all those brilliant ideas? Using good vocabulary and having accurate spelling and grammar? That's not just a nice little bonus. It's worth a solid 5% of your grade.
Okay, so we've cracked the code. We know where the marks are. Now, how do we actually use this knowledge? Let's build the perfect essay structure with what I like to call the A+ essay blueprint.
Every great essay, I don't care what the topic is, follows this really simple but powerful structure. You need a strong introduction that hooks the reader, a body that's jam-packed with well-argued points, and a conclusion that just lands your argument perfectly.
Think of your introduction as your roadmap. You have to tackle the question head-on, state your main argument, that's your thesis, and give a quick mention of the play's context. This tells the examiner, hey, I know exactly where I'm going with this and I'm in control.
Then we get to the body paragraphs. This is the engine room of your essay, and each one needs to follow this formula. A clear point, a piece of evidence, a quote to back it up, and then, and this is the most important part, detailed analysis of that evidence, always linking back to your main argument.
So, we keep saying analysis is the key, but what does great analysis actually look like on the page? Let's dive into the techniques that are going to power up your writing and really separate a good answer from a truly great one.
All right, first up, a pro tip for using quotations. Don't just drop them into a paragraph like a brick. You got to embed them, weave them smoothly right into your own sentences. Trust me, it makes your writing flow so much better.
Just look at the difference here. The weak example, it feels a bit clunky, right? But the strong one, see how the quote is beautifully woven into the sentence, and that sentence itself starts the analysis? It's seamless. It's way more sophisticated.
Right, so you've embedded your quote perfectly. Now for the million-dollar question. What do you actually say about it? How do you get those top analysis marks?
The secret is to become a detective. You need to constantly be asking why. Why did Shakespeare choose the word Gog? Why use that kind of exaggeration there? What is the effect on the audience watching this? Don't just describe what's happening, you need to question the author's choices.
And to get those ideas across, you need the right tools. Using powerful analytical verbs, words like suggests, implies, or reveals will immediately lift your writing from just summarizing the plot to offering a really insightful interpretation.
Okay, let's bring this all together. We've cracked the code, we've built the blueprint. Now, let's boil this all down into your final winning game plan.
Here it is in 3 simple steps. First, decode what the question is really asking for by thinking about those AOs. Second, build your answer using that clear intro-body-conclusion blueprint. And third, power up every single point you make with deep, insightful analysis.
And if you remember just one thing from all of this, please let it be this, the 80% rule. The vast majority of your marks are coming from AO1 and AO2, your ideas and your analysis of Shakespeare's craft. That right there is where this exam is won or lost.
Ultimately, your job in the exam hall isn't to be a storyteller. It's to be a detective, an analyst. So don't just retell the story of Much Ado About Nothing, analyze the craft that brought that incredible story to life. That is the real code to success.